As a real estate professional, the question I most often hear is, how is the market? Well, that all depends on your position in the market, right? Are you a buyer? Are you a seller? The main indicator of whether we are currently in a seller's market or a buyer's market is this indicator right here, which is called months of supply. Now, months of supply represents how long it would take to sell the current inventory that we have, assuming that no other properties were to come on the market. You can see currently we are still in a seller's market. This is specific for Kennebec County. Now, a balanced market would be 5 months of supply. Just after COVID, this triangle was way over on the left-hand side of the chart here. We were a very strong seller's market, but the current conditions right now is still showing that sellers have a certain amount of control. How does that compare to Somerset County? Well, as you can see in Somerset County, the months of inventory, the months of supply is nearly 5 months. So for that reason, it's getting to be closer to a balanced market, Somerset County. It's important that you understand these trends in the county that you're working in. Let's look at some other statistics. Here's some more information on Kennebec County. So this is a monthly snapshot. It's important as real estate agents that we need to look at not only monthly trends, but year-to-date trends. From a monthly perspective, this shows Kennebec County October of 2025 versus October of 2024. As you can see, the median sale price from a month-to-month basis is down 10%. However, that's not what I'm seeing in the marketplace for a trend, and we'll talk about that momentarily. Closed sales are down 21%. You look at the active inventory and the new listings. This is the first time I have seen this on a monthly trend be down for 24, 28 consecutive months. We have seen increases in supply consecutively in Kennebec County. What that has done is simple supply and demand economics. The prices have leveled off, and you're going to see that in one of the charts in this presentation as well. So new inventory is down. However, year to date, we're actually up a little bit. So median days on market. The median days on market represents how long it takes where half the sales are above this date, half the sales are below. That's not to be confused with the average days on market. The average days on market is typically significantly higher than the median. So when you look at Kennebec County from a year-to-date perspective, you can see new listings are actually up. So despite the fact that on a month-to-month basis, we're down compared to October of last year, from a year-to-date perspective, 2025 versus 2026, inventory is up. Look at the median days on market. Again, if you're selling your home in Kennebec County, we typically know within 2 weeks whether we've been overly optimistic on the price. How do we know that? Because half the homes that we're putting on the market are selling in less than 15 days. You can see the median sale price is relatively flat, okay, 0.1% up, and closed sales is also relatively flat. Well, how does that compare to Somerset County? As you can see in Somerset County, the median sale price is much lower than Kennebec County, even though they're bordering counties. Closed sales are also down 22%. This is a monthly snapshot. And look at the new listing inventory. It's down nearly 40% compared to last year. So from a month-to-month basis, new listings are coming on the market very slowly right now. You look at the median days on market in Somerset County. If someone asks you, hey, does Kennebec County and Somerset County sell at a typical similar rate? Well, the answer here is no, right? You're seeing the median days on market in Somerset County is 26 compared to the 14 that we saw with Kennebec County. So how does that compare year to date? Again, we talk about how the inventory has gradually increased month over month for a couple of years now. That's why that month-to-month snapshot that we just saw in Somerset County, the new listings are down significantly, but look at where we are from a year-to-date perspective. We're still up in new listings compared to the previous year. We still have a long way to go to becoming catching up with our shortage of inventory. Median days on market in Somerset County year-to-date, 28 days. Closed sales are relatively flat, and sale prices slightly up, less than 3%. So here's a chart that's year to date for Kennebec County closed sales. if I were to just show you this chart as a seller, you might think, wow, this market is terrible, right? You look at the number of sales and how low we are. We're having historically low sales because we still have historically low inventory, despite the fact that we've month over month, for the most part, have received increase in inventory compared to the previous year. But in Kennebec County, we still have a long way to go to catch up with 2018 statistics in terms of number of sales. When you look at the sale price in Kennebec County, I mentioned that the inventory has been increasing, right? The inventory has been increasing month over month, except for this last month where it was down. And what we've seen is since December of 2024, we've seen a leveling off of price. We haven't seen a decline in price, but we certainly have seen a leveling off that has remained relatively consistent. So how does that look in Somerset County? Somerset County, same thing, sharp decline in sales after this COVID year spikes. But again, relatively strong and not as far behind the 2018 statistics. But then you look at the median sale price. Again, Somerset County year to date is following a similar trajectory of Kennebec County, with the exception of that December 2024, the rise that we had seen simply slowed. So we're seeing still gradual appreciation in Somerset County, even though the prices are lower compared to Kennebec County. They're on the market a little bit longer. So in any case, that gives you a general sense of where things are happening in Kennebec and Somerset County. It's important to know these trends. It's important that your agent knows these trends, because when you're talking about pricing your home, understanding where we've been, where we are, and where we're going is going to be of critical importance to have a general idea of how much leverage you might have when you're writing that offer for that property that you're interested in. Thanks for watching my video. If you have questions or comments, please leave them on the chat below or reach out to me directly.